My name is Retnan Desa, founder of Everyday Money, and with Terry Jerry. We've done a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
From going to all over West African countries, back in the day. Even though part of the part of why we did that was to explore the world beyond beyond the books
and find our way here. Eventually.
I mean, before insecurity that was plaguing Nigeria, it was a fun way to explore Africa by road. In fact, the best because you get to interact with local and. So I've known you to, help a lot of Nigerians to explore the world over time. And now you're working with the African Film Institute. And you've been doing some stuff in Europe. And I've always known that which was why on arrival in Paris you were, my first point of call. I mean, you were in Paris before me, right? A month before I was
before you were
and then you ran away. So apart from the fact that I invited you to Paris so we could we could catch up and talk about what's happening with Africa and why we are doing what we're doing in Europe. And I'm also privy to some of the ideas that you're trying to put together in Paris as well. So we will just talk about all of that. Yeah. So how are you finding Europe so far? I mean, you've been here before me, so
yeah. So okay. For now, Terry Jerry, I was say. My name. I founded a company first before I went to the African Film Institute at the African Union. It's called Adocam Productions, a film production company, which is still active till now, but someone else is heading it. Why I am just, founder, but I still have an everyday running with it as well. So, but more of my energy and time now is put in African Film Institute. So, my journey in Europe, like you rightly, I started since 2018. And then was from Germany to Denmark, Sweden. I'm the one that always goes back to Africa. So when I came to Paris, a month before you came, it wasn't running away. It's my schedule. Like we're talking here now, I'll still go back to Germany and then I still get to go back. For me, as a bridge builder, you cannot come and stay on one side of the bridge. You always have to cross to the other end to adjust it. So that's how I see my role. Now I'm the executive secretary at the African Film Institute. And just coming in for your invitation, I had to go to Spain and then Portugal and before coming back to Paris again, And why am I doing all of this? It's still the bridge building process. I know folks have come before me in the same regards, trying to build the bridge for Africans to be able to explore the world, which was the idea before.
Please tell me what happened to Joe Green. I mean, you've been moving us across Africa. From Benin. I remember our experience back in the day through Sokoto. Through to Niger.
Sokoto, Ilela, you go through Niger, Kone.
What's the other place in Niger?
And Abomuni University in Niamey.
No, before we got to Niamey, we were in
Maradi. Okay, no. So Maradi, if it's Maradi, we went through Kassina. You go through Jibia.
Yes,
then you
Kassina,
get to Maradi.
Then before we moved to
Niamey. Before we moved to Ouaga and then came back all through the other places, Togo, Ghana, Benin, then back to Nigeria. So Joe Green, yes, I'm still an executive there. I was one of the founders. It was an NGO. The focus was to help Nigerians know more about Africa. It was more environmentally focused. And so I wasn't alone. We're like 7 people on the board. I'm still the board chairman, still there, but COVID kind of disrupted things. It's COVID that actually brought the activities of Joe Green to kind of... Yes, so that has been an issue as well. Boko Haram was more on the northeastern side of Nigeria, more on the boundary of Chad and Cameroon, but it has found its way in having an offshoot with what they're calling banditry and all of that. Same thing, same wickedness, same terrorism, So it has kind of impeded because the safe ground used to be mostly once you cross into Nigeria, you're good to go. If you're using the other border through Fada and Goruma on the side of Burkina Faso, or you're going through Terra, Dori, still on the other side of Burkina. But the problem is both ways are now not very safe to enter into Burkina Faso. And that's why that route for the trip, the route which, I created, because when I got to meet the immigration on the other side, they say, look, people have not done this route before. It's like a circle.
Yeah.
Across 5 West African countries. So it kind of halted. What we're doing now is, I think, even the last FESPACO, which is the biggest African film festival happening in Ouaga, folks went, but the direction we use now, we're doing it in reverse. So it's safer to go through Benin, through Seme, down in Lagos through Benin, then you connect Togo, you can do Ghana, go through Paga border into the same Burkina Faso. Yeah. But it's tricky when you want to come outside, you need to use Burkina again, come through Togo, then you can connect again through Benin and northern Nigeria. Yeah. The Niger side of it is now very small because Niger is a vast land, but there's a whole new game of terrorism between Burkina and Niger. There's a triangle which some of the guys just took over. Funnily, it started around 2021. I drove again across there. Yes. And it was just in its formation. In the week in which we're passing, we discovered the roads were quiet, the peage were all not there, but something, it was just off. Then when we met the military guys at the border, we told them, they said, wait, we passed through this road, what is happening? We said, yeah, we saw 1 or 2 trucks, so we thought it was good. They said, whoa, what did we see? We say, yeah, we saw guys like IDPs, people running. They say, yeah, those are some of the people causing troubles. So, but we passed.
What are your numbers like? How many Nigerians have you moved across?
So not only Nigerians. Let's bring it down to West Africans. There's a lot of folks that travel with us are from Cameroon, in Central Africa, people from Chad, which is Central Africa. There are people from Benin, Togo, Ghana that traveled with us.
That were living in Nigeria, but
some living in Nigeria.
The trip
yes,
as well.
And some living in Ghana and Togo. They also joined the trip at some point. So in our calculation, after running Joe Green from 2010 to 2020, like 2020 just right before the COVID, that would be like 10 years, we had moved close to 6,000 people across. And why we loved it is because there was a clear database and we were taking records. We always encourage people to travel with documents, passports and all of that. So it was a good stuff because we were able to document. I remember I was called by the immigration HQ there in Jos. And they say, look, there's something we've discovered. It's like a pattern. Your passport keeps appearing on people's document. Yeah. When you want to make passport, you need a guarantor. And then before I know, they say, look, you've crossed like a serious threshold. It's over 1,000 people.
Yeah.
We've not seen that before. Is this normal? I said, okay. So I didn't think of it. Most of them don't have parents with passports or concrete IDs. Yeah. So I felt if I can trust to travel with them, why can't I trust to guarantee them getting the document? We're the ones encouraging them to have the document. Yeah. So why not do that? And so I think about almost 6,000. Within 10 years.
Thinking about that, I think that thinking about all of that experience, that time, and what we are doing now is everything connected to this very moment. I mean, with you working at African Film Institute now, and running a global fintech startup right out of France. A lot of people even thought that 10 years ago, my being in Alliance Française was
a waste of time.
No, not necessarily. Like it was calculated. Like I knew I was going to be here at some point. But of course, I just followed through, a life journey. So let's connect that back to African Film Institute.
Film Institute, yeah. Yes. So like it's one whole journey. It is connected. So quickly, I was just a teenager turning into my 20s when we started the idea of Joe Green going around West Africa. But it quickly opened my eyes to understand that if we need to do better as a people, I'm talking about Nigerians now, we need to travel more. We need to see that we're not alone. First of all, the idea that one would not even learn how to speak French was a crazy idea, if not dumb, because you're surrounded by 4 francophone countries, and then you don't want to take this seriously.
I mean, but then it would be great if we don't talk about you as a director I mean, you have shot Goldbado's
I'm coming to that place.
music videos. Your involvement in the film industry in Nigeria.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
We need to establish it.
We will establish that. Because you can't talk about the African Film Institute without establishing that. So it was a journey. One of the things that quickly told me was that, look, we needed to know our continent better, so that, because as at the time we're doing Joe Green, I had finished my diploma in film and TV production. I finished some acting schools, and then I was doing a degree in the university. So I was actively involved in the film industry. So what was I doing, going around, traveling and all? It's just so that I help tell the narrative better. You understand? And I'm going to bring us to why I had to be at the helm of affairs in African Film Institute. So it was based on the traveling. So immediately after I finished the university, I had opportunity to do my service in the security with the military, all of that. And then I still left back. My passion was for film and all of that. So this traveling around helped me to just be a better storyteller, a better filmmaker. And so I won awards back in 2018, and then was taking, went to Germany, went to Denmark.
That was under Adukam.
Yes, that was with the company, the film company I founded.
I remember you give me when I was trying to help the creatives in Jos to better monetize their creative content through one of my startup, Aliwa House.
Aliwa House, I remember a lot. Aliwa House.
You were one of those who voluntarily gave me your content, even though the major challenge I had with creators back at home was they negotiating with me, a young startup who is trying to help, and then they still go ahead, to give that same content away for free
to, not seeing the vision,
to television stations over there in Nigeria. Why did you do that? Why did you give me your
Okay, so for me, like I said, it's connected to my exposure. So all of these travels and all of that, it was when I went out after winning that award, I was trained. That is where the whole conversation with the African Union started, with some of us that were filmmakers and then journalists and other media practitioners in Europe. That's where we saw there need to be an institute that looks into our common welfare for as filmmakers, as media people. And there's nothing like that. So the AU now give us the guidelines on how you can start, all of that. And then we had to have representative from all 6 zones. And then somebody had to lead the vision to found it and all of that. And boom, came up with the African Film Institute as well. So having been a filmmaker that was doing stuff, it's part of what we're here to talk about. We need to leverage on each other. We need to network with each other. There's a mantra we're using lately. We say, look, competition is dead. Collaboration is the new woke. You understand? So for me, I've had this mindset right from time. I saw you were building stuff that needs to succeed to help my kind, the creators of filmmaking. So why?
Because
it's just a no-brainer. Yes.
Monetization was a major
problem for those that were creating content.
The only thing we were good at as creators is come on social media and keep ranting about how
nobody's helping us, the government is not doing stuff. You've done a very good stuff. They can't sell it. They're selling nonsense down in South, in Lagos, in everywhere. But then you're not showcasing your stuff. There was no platform. And here is somebody that now brought Aliwa House, brought a platform to help you exhibit. He said, okay, let's exhibit, let's share the gains. So I don't, it's just, I think it's cultural. That's how I would say it. It's a cultural thing, not to understand how stuff works, because most creators don't even think how their stuff is going to sell. And that has been damaging enough for some of us to understand that before you create something, you ought to look at where am I going to exhibit, where am I going to sell, and which is what you were providing, which you are providing, which is still very important. That's why, in part of the talking we're saying tie this with everyday money, because everyday money is also an app, a platform that seeks to do this, isn't it?
At that time, where we were about to put Aliwa on a hold, we created a technology that is supposed to help the creators and their streaming revenue in real time. So we actually created a technology that actually splits the revenue across all of the actors, all of the partners that is involved in creative in that particular creative work.
Good.
And in some parts, that was what led to the creation of Everyday Money. Because the entire design, the automation element of everyday money, the idea that you get paid every day, you get to see money every day is in part that. And when I had that moment, I mean, Joe and I, Joe Heman and I were staying together in Abuja, and it was, it was there when, I was like, damn, this is something that we need to move on to next.
Good.
Right.
Good.
I mean, so
I keep saying it. Then again, you see there's a connection between how the Alewa house and the whole streaming platform. So it's not a failure. It's always about the learning. So like I was telling you, school fees. You paid the school fees through one initiative to get insight into another innovation. You understand?
But aren't we just, aren't we just comfortable complaining? Than trying to solve our problem or partake in being part of the solution.
It's very directly speaking to our native town, Jos, and then our country, Nigeria, and then to our brothers and sisters in the larger community in Africa, both on the continent and in diaspora.
Because that is the same model.
You are very correct. I think we're too comfortable complaining.
That is the same Aliwa's model at the time of revenue split was what Elon Musk brought into X. That was about maybe 4 years later. And for me, that was like a validation that was the best way to share revenue.
Still is.
From subscribers to content creators.
Even Netflix has decided that the way they sign content is they don't give you all the money. They will see how well it does in numbers, and then you get the rest of it based. What's it called? The model on Amazon Prime is same. You put your content, you even get access to see how the content is doing, then you get to be paid. YouTube has come in to disrupt that whole thing, but that's the same model. You put it there, and then your views and all of that decide your monetization, and then you get some percentage. That's it. It's a win-win.
Yeah. So do we want to make money from where we come from Jos? Do we really want to make money?
The question will be yes.
A lot of genuinely really want to make a difference in the city of Jos.
Yeah.
But what is common in all of that is that there is no business model. Oh, I'm trying to do this. I need support. I need support.
Yeah. It's the first thing. Everybody says they need support. When they need support, they are not. Don't even support is broad. They need money. They just jump and say, "Okay, I need money."
So why not think about something that would give you money?
And you keep saying that. Look, money is every other person that telling you they need money have already received money in some form and then lost it because. It's not what you need, the knowledge of how what you want to run should run. And that's the reason you see the mentorship system and whole internship system. These are all, vehicles to moving to where you want to succeed as a business person are not very popular up in our town. Because people don't feel everybody quickly, let me break out from this hub we have formed to become my own CEO to do stuff because you have not learned. You're running with quarter of the information. You will fail at it. It's just a question of when. So the idea is it has to be in steps. Do we want to make money? The answer is definitely yes. How do we make money? That is what even the government of Nigeria is asking. How do I make more revenue? Even the government needs money, So what we are saying is there's the how of making it. And then there are people alive, like you and I, that have at least succeeded at some measure with some of the things. So we need to be talking together.
Okay,
we need to be looking in that space.
Earlier today, we found out that the Tarok popular song, you're not with the boombox, right?
No, it's there.
Okay, anyways, so, and we Shazam the song, and we couldn't find the name of the original creator of the song.
And then,
instead we found sax solo on the song.
Yeah, so it was confusing for a moment.
Where is the revenue going, or where does the honor go to? Where does the credit really go to?
It was confusing for a moment there because
do we really want to make money? Or not?
That is the problem. And you now told me how, there was a whole move to see how to get the right for those songs to put on a Alewa streaming platform so that people make of them. There are many songs like that.
Yeah, and we experienced so many backlash only for me to see it on that somebody is even getting it for free and probably earning revenue from it.
There are countless of such songs. that are now, from the Ngas Nation.
Do you want to play it?
Because I did the documentary with Dan Tala, and I had access to some of those stuff. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is that it?
No.
Okay,
Baby, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay,
It's the first
okay,
song they do.
okay.
Everybody that lives in Jos has come across this song.
Yeah, but nobody knows who the
name.
artist.
Till now, we're asking who's the name of the person that sang this. And when you Shazam it, it's Sax Solo, you see.
That is so sad.
DJs, they play this thing every time.
Yeah, that is the sound. Europe needs to listen to this.
It's a unique stuff,
Yeah.
You understand? And so when you put this out there, I told you, I was the one that discovered it. I Shazammed it many times. I said, look, I need this song in my movies, in my documentary.
But there's nobody to get.
And then who is the owner of the song? And then boom.
We definitely know it's not Sax Solo.
Yeah, so I know, this is something we'll need to ask Sax Solo herself. Do you own this song? How come it's showing your name? Maybe she's bought the rights to it. She's the one because we need to know that. Because for us, it's a good song. Like one of those many songs we feel shouldn't be lying there.
Yeah.
We should have rights to who do we give royalties to use it. To know. It's an identity thing.
And then we have the likes of Dantala.
Dantala, yes, which I said.
And I think one of the problems we have is documentation.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of information, a lot of data around Dantala. I mean, now we're in the age of artificial intelligence, and most artificial intelligence AI models are built on data. So in essence, whatever the AI model output is a function of what it finds on the internet.
What it finds on the internet. That's the truth.
Somebody might write about. Somebody might talk about maybe will probably make use of Dantala's creation or even own it, right?
Yeah. And
if
because
that model is now being trained,
managed, that is what we're saying. So you see, it took me 3 years, I told you, to pursue the man that was living in the same town as me, to get him to do documentary. Thank God for somebody, a filmmaker like myself, Gobun, Mr. Gobun. Gobun now met him, and I had to meet the legend himself, because before that, somebody has told me he's his manager. So I kept on for 3 years asking a manager, can you take me to your person so that I document him? I'm not a joker. I have won global awards for filmmaking. I know this stuff. I want to do it, And I'm not asking you for money to do it. This we are funding, we are doing. I don't know who in the right mind. So when I met with the legend himself, Nde Dantala, he was shocked. Look, so you've been looking for me? I said, yes, sir. For 3 years, I saw you perform at a forum organized by Tourism Board, and somebody said he's managing you. So I told him, can you lead me? Can we talk? The next time I saw him was at a very sad event. His cousin, Rinji, was shot during COVID, and it wasn't the time to talk to him. And then after that, I couldn't locate him again. You have people that say, oh, he's my neighbor, we're going to meet. Oh, I know him, we're going to meet.
So it's why I asked that same question. Do we want to make money?
We want to make money. So now we have shot his documentary. And in editing it, I was editing it in Germany. I even took some of the work. I checked it out in Portugal. So I've moved from country to country trying to do and I'm seeing that it looks like it needs to be rendered in 2 forms. We're going to have a film, a feature length of it, almost 2 hours. Then we also will split it into a mini series of, say, 4 parts of something not up to 1 hour, about 4 parts, because there's so much good quality. We followed him from his rehearsals, from his family, his story, how he has given birth to a whole lot of people. Oh yeah, so funnily, whilst I was abroad, after we filmed, the lead drummer died. He was there on social media. Yeah. So, but some of the guys that trained, these guys have traveled over 50 countries, and all of those amazing young ones, they are young ones as young as 14, 15 that are on crew. Training to carry on this torchlight to the next year. So it's a good story. Now we have finished the film. We are in the post-production part of it, but it's a careful work. I know it's taken up to a year, and some people think it's too much. But for me, I feel like it's worth doing well, so that when it comes out, it would at least be something worth going global with. And like you rightly asked, look, it is in our interest to protect and to showcase, to document. How do we protect these things? How do we make them more productive is by documentation.
Yeah.
We need to tell these stories.
We have that same problem even in the tech community, especially from JOS. And we actually led a technological movement right from JOS back in the day, but most of it were
the
not
entire country.
We're not documented, right? And it's largely because we were just busy, right? So it's why I would say that there's still no ecosystem in technology ecosystem.
Yeah, so you're just making it passive. I know there's a great outfit called NHub and the other one, NHub and just what. Plateau something. The other one where Pomfa and then there's
the Langtan Innovation Hub now. There is Asia Hub.
All of those things came out.
KC Hub,
You know, and no, it's not something you should do passive. Now, where the whole of this meeting, we're focused on creative and digital economy, which is one of the space we know Africans can have an edge. We can quickly catch up because these two economy merge into one. When you say the creative and digital economy, you're looking from film through tech and all of that because it's interwoven. There's videos and audio visual around all of this thing, you know, so it is something Africans can do very well and we feel is one of the oils of this particular region of ours called, Plateau.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the crude oil, but we have this oil of creativity.
But are we putting money in the right places right now?
In terms of the government, where I cannot speak for them, they're intelligent and smart enough to know that this is a no-brainer because if you do not have petroleum but you have creativity and digital force, why not put the effort behind it?
So one funny thing I've come to one funny thing I've seen in Plateau State is that Plateau State government understand the concept of a counterpart fund.
Yep.
And most times they go out there and look for those counterpart funds. These are projects that they bring their own share of the contribution. The foreign entity brings their own half of let's say share of the project and of the fund, right, for the project, and they're able to execute the project right in Plateau State. Plateau State has benefited so much from those kind of interventions, right? So in essence, we go out there, look for counterpart fund. And we're also aware that some young people in Plateau State also have, some counterpart fund with the German government. And you guys too, right? There's counterpart fund available.
Yeah, waiting. And then we're not able to access it because we came back home that's talking on behalf of the African Film Institute now.
So what I don't understand is why is there no counterpart fund from Plateau State government itself to its small, medium businesses?
Like Nigerians who say that's a jam question. I mean, it's an exam
why
question.
Are you leaving your country to go and look for money?
Yeah.
Right. You want investors to give you money, right? But what about those local technology startups in Plateau State, small, medium businesses? Because if you ask right now, capital is a problem.
Yeah.
So is that not a little bit stupid? That you're going out there to look for money, but your people are also looking out for money to grow its own economy.
Yeah.
But you're kind of shunning them. So you understand the concept of counterpart fund, but you don't extend that to your people. Yeah. So how do you think is the foreign investors that I think that it's should not as well, because if you want my money, I need to see that you're actually extending that.
Yeah, you have something.
Your own people. That means you want development.
So that's
not there.
This is a larger conversation.
I don't think we can move far
because we have the inclination with the African Union. I know we have spoken at that level on these things. So maybe it needs to become, because African Union is responsible for a lot of policies, and part of this thing is maybe this thing needs to start at policy level, but it's there. You will find a policy that has been written on how this should handle that. If you borrow X amount internationally, part of it must be injected into your economies, creations, small and medium. No. I'm telling you something. It's in policies. It's there. Now you are talking about the execution of it there because it's a no-brainer. If you're going out there to look for lump sum here in France, yesterday there was a meeting. 5 governors came to France. They're talking all of this money is being moved around and cool. Like he said, investors are not stupid.
I have access to counterpart funding in Paris.
Yep. And then you've been looking for months now for a laughable amount that is supposed to. See, that is what I'm saying.
So, what our leaders have been doing, what a lot of us have been doing, trying to look for funding in, for example, Europe. Mm-hmm. How does that affect the perception of you coming to Germany, for instance? I know you have been doing some things in Germany.
So I know. For us,
I know they expect you to come out and look for money, but you came for collaboration.
Yes. So I'm the one wrong guy to send for that kind of stuff. So at the African Union. And there are many initiatives exist like this. Like ours is a whole continental drive. When you say the African Film Institute for the whole continent. So coming to Europe now, first of all, people that came before us, when I started, I said, look, folks,
they came to beg.
People came before us. So sorry to say, but literally they're beggars. They came, please, Africa's impoverished. You should give us money. Let's go back and improve stuff and develop stuff. Then they got the money. Then they didn't even go back. Some of them did not go back. They are culturalized, married women, stayed. I'm not judging. I'm not saying it's wrong. Maybe that's how their life trajectory to go. But the first goal and the aim of coming was defeated because neither did the money reach where you said you were going to take it back to do stuff. And then you yourself, a bridge builder that became the bridge. He laid it. No. Didn't become the bridge. Maybe became the pillar on one side and just stayed on the other side. So the bridge couldn't be connected. So the idea, like for me, the first speech and all of that, we spoke with our German counterparts and then people in other countries in Europe. We have an office here in France, in Paris here too. We've been there. You've seen. So one of the things we told people, we said, look, for us as a continental body, if we need to be able to innovate this space, our mantra is innovating the Africa we want.
Yeah.
So we need to innovate. It's not really building things from scratch or doing things totally different from what has been obtainable, but what is obtainable. But we're going to do things, mixture of this, but what has not worked, we'll leave it there. Then we'll use what has worked, we'll magnify it. Saying that counterpart funding and all that, it puts everybody's skin in the game.
Yeah.
If I say, okay, we need 300,000 euros, I need you to come out with at least 100K of that. That will make sure you have your investment in it and you will take it seriously.
Yeah.
Because this whole idea of giving money one way is responsible for the way people mismanage fund, no accountability, and then they go and say cry victim because when they tell them they should be accountable for how they spend those monies.
Yeah.
So for us, we're a believer in innovations.
Yeah.
And we feel like when you ask somebody for support, it's not really cash all the time. Sometimes we'll say, look, like there's some programs we're running at the African Film Institute in terms of certificate courses, in terms of masters, which have been involved in and all that. We literally will tell the people that, look, don't even look at us as those Africans for who are not asking for fund. We're asking for access to X and X.
Yeah.
Is that available? And quickly you hear that, yes, no, for this we can do. Don't worry, we will take care of the funding. We've been coming, we're partners with the European film market at the Berlinale, biggest film festival in the entire world. We have a partnership with some of the initiative at Cannes. All of this stuff, some of the things look, don't worry, we would fund our own side of things. We need this access. This is how you train people to be independent, people to be real collaborators. When you say collaboration, partnership, it should be that you're bringing something to the table. I am bringing something to the table. Not you own the table.
Yeah.
You put the stuff and then I say I'm a partner. You're not a partner.
Yeah,
you're just
partnership,
a beggar or something
partnership
like
is like I said on my Facebook recently, partnership is the most misunderstood word.
Yes.
And I know they were surprised, right? When you came with
yes. When I said this, it's not till now. It's not sinking in well. Like right now, I came with a TV series. Yes, I came with a TV series that we said from our discussion before it became a year-sec. We said, look, let's find an inclination for where Europe, Germany, particularly is working with Africa. and let maybe Nigeria will always be at the leading of that. Then we went back, I spoke with X and X, and then we used through the company, the support of the African Film Institute and some investors, we're able to come up with a large TV series shot at a high stake format. Something about, the farmers and the headers and the settlers and all of those issues around like 11 Sahelan countries. And in fact, the entire continent is facing this issue of clashes that have now even risen to terrorist level of threat. Yeah. So it's a good stuff. It's a big stuff that everybody's looking into it. When we now brought it back and say, okay, now we've done the production. Here we are partnering. They say, wait, seriously? Because they expected us to beg. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have my mantra, which we say at the Institute, that look, development needs to go from political through environmental and economic, and then get down to cultural level where, film and all of what we do. It's cultural. They've driven the idea of Africa being beggarly, even in terms of trying to innovate, trying to get...
because most of the funding that comes cultural. It became like the best way to raise money in Africa is to come as a victim to say,
there's a lot of trouble, insecurity, gender violence,
give me money,
hunger.
So the concept of partnership, like, what?
Come and beg.
I mean, I'm supposed to send you money, and later you send me a report about how you spend that money. But let's move on to something else, right?
So the future now.
Yeah, in terms of the future, does it not bother you? Because this bother me that now there's a rave, right? The world has changed significantly since, the whole AI conversation erupted. Even though back at home, we were still discussing Two-Face and Natasha. The two Natashas. And does it not bother you that because globally, whenever there's a rave, whenever there's a technology rave, people have ideas. People want to, tap into existing the technology that is raving to build innovative product so they can sell, right? And this bothers me because the people who have the funding always have a competitive advantage.
The edge,
and in this game, winner takes it all.
Yeah, and funding, how early funding comes, like changes the entire landscape.
You have the same idea you have the same idea in Africa as the same person who, as another person in America, in Europe.
Yeah.
The difference is funding, and in this game, winner takes it all.
Yeah, of course, winner will take it all.
We have seen
anytime.
We have seen streaming platforms that try to come out of Africa, but they never really scale out.
Yeah,
and when they were trying to acquire significant amount of users, then you have Netflix arrives, then you have Prime Video arrives, American dollars, and then
all of
this
that.
will continually set Africa behind. Does it not bother you?
Except something, it bothers me. Matter of fact, it's killing. That's the problem, the downside of too much information. When you already can predict the future, that's what we do in strategy. What we do at the African Film Institute, we call it ideas. I is for innovation, D is for diplomacy, E is for education, A is for advancement, and S for strategy. So we understand strategy.
Because
if
young
you
people will
cannot
still be
predict
backward.
the future,
Africa will still be left behind.
All of that statistic that says that by 2050, 1 out of every 4 people on earth will be a black person or something like that. I heard they say 4 out of every 5 person. All of those statistics is good. But what is the quality of the black people you would have? Are they stupid people running around without skills or not backed up by... This is a future problem.
Yes,
you understand?
There's a skill problem. Then there's a funding problem. Yeah,
I'm telling you. So it's
because
connected.
Ideas are universal.
It's connected because funding, you cannot say, has not really gravitated towards the part of Africa. It has. Billions of euros or dollars has gone to Africa.
Yeah,
How was it utilized? That is the question. It ended up in the same product that are made up in the West to end and be dominant. People have cars that they cannot use. People have houses when they need just a space in a room to sleep. They have mansions splitted in all cities across the country. Are you foolish? Because this is what we're saying. So the capital has come. What have you used it for? You've not invested in the right set of things. And now the future is already being decided and you are going to be found wanting. So the way to change this is through innovations, like we're saying. You understand? You are here in France today. I have been in Germany, I have been here and elsewhere in Europe, with all of these innovations, is to change the landscape. So unfortunately, you have to come to Europe or the West for stuff to be actually done. It's unfortunate, but you can quote, I stand corrected, but this is how I see it. They are ahead. There's no changing that. So you need to come here for stuff to change. So you come here to tap into the big energy, to tap into the real thing you call partnership or the collaboration that can go back there and change you stuff. You understand?
Yeah.
So what you try to avoid is to come and be too comfortable here and forget what the journey was about in the first place. You understand? Because it has happened to a lot of people before you and I.
Yeah.
You come here, you get very comfortable. The life is predetermined, is safe, is quiet, it's good. Then you leave it. You have children
and you just
here.
Want to mind your business.
Mind your business. Let the guys just screw themselves. Let's be safe. Yeah, you've been burnt one too many times.
Yeah.
And I say, look at it as school fees, as payment for trying to rise. You'll be burnt, you'll be betrayed, you'll be insulted, you'll be... They say all kinds of things about you. But Two-Face had it. He said, if nobody talks about you, then you're nobody. If you need to be somebody, there's got to be a lot of criticism, a lot of wrong sayings against you, and all of the things. So in the future now, funding...
Looks like we have like some...
No, I think your time is still... was supposed to be at 3:38 something, so I think we have like 20.
All right, great.
And we're good. So the way I see it, it's like driving a manual car situation. It's a bit of application of the brakes or of the throttle, and then the clutch system. If you push it too much, it will go off, so you need to kind of balance it. So funding and skills now. Skills is what you use to draw funding.
Yeah.
You understand? When you have skills in the right direction, you become necessary. You understand? And then we have a younger population, the entire world. The continent is the one with the younger population. So now is to understand how that population can tap into skills that are required for drawing funds.
Yeah.
Money is not racist. Money is not. Money is colorblind. Money is all of that. It's just that it's in the hands of human beings, and human beings possess these characters. They see color, they see race, they see tribe, they see religion, and all of that. But the thing with skills is, when you want to do skills, like if you get into a plane, you don't ask what the religion of the guy flying you is or the tribe of the guy flying you. You're just concerned about, has he flown before? Has he done it successfully?
Yeah, but guess who is investing in the skill of its people?
Mm-hmm.
No, largely you and I, young people, and less of the
OGs
who
that actually have the
capital,
money, like that
right?
actually have the capital.
What are they using their money for?
So
buying rice and sharing.
I don't know.
Is that sustainable?
I don't know if my analogy is very correct, but sometimes out of my frustration some years ago, I just said, good news that at some point people have to die. So eventually they just die and they will not go anywhere with the monies. Then the future of this money will be decided, because I don't know what else to say except that I know that...
like you said something about culture, right? Don't you think these acts and actions are brewing the same
mindset? They will be succeeded by people with the same mindset. Let's gather the money and
because
put
right now the best way to make anything significant, for instance, Plateau State, is to be a politician yourself.
Yeah, I understand.
And then when you realize that the only way to become significant or to do significant work is to share money.
Yeah, just share money.
Buy food and share.
Buy the votes.
No skills.
Buy the votes. You don't need to have
so
government skills.
You have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge the young people, that are building, the next generation of, talent.
Yeah.
You can attribute that NHOB has done significant work, not because I was part of
founding
founding member of NHOB, and then you have the likes of Asia Hub, that are now taking a lot of the hubs now taking the NHOB model and then replicating it. But we have not seen the government itself backing this.
So I can say, because of privileged information I have by my working at the Film Institute, it's talking Jos now. Jos is the home to the biggest and the only federal government-run film institute, the NFI, and then around it, there are successful film production companies that have produced from there to the world, like Adocam. I can speak for my company, I know that, and the other companies alike. It's also
Did they give you money?
For what?
Did the government give you money?
Oh God. So talking government, I'm getting there. Okay. One of the good news I'm seeing is that like the NFC, the Film Corporation, which is the head which runs the Film Institute, is now headed by Josite. Good news. Alinu, who is a Josite, okay. He identifies as one, and he's a Josite, and he has a skin in the game. He's been an excellent, a successful filmmaker, from actor to director, producer. Yeah. So now, for the first time down range, there's been somebody that really has been one of us that from the sector. So we are expecting that at least the monies now, budget has been given, and that down the line there will be a genuine change. It might not be as fast as we expected because years of damage has been done to these sectors. So you just spoke for the tech space, the digital space, and I'm talking the creative, like we said, creative and digital space. So I'm hoping that this marriage will happen quickly now, and then not funds will be lacking because they say, okay, like in film,
maybe just
the same thing. The same thing, even in the digital stage, you have like 3 phases of production. You have the creative side of it, or the artistic side, or you have the technical where you are coding, you're doing stuff, or in film where you are producing or filming. Then you have the administrative marketing side. So right now we have seen people that believe that money can go to the last part of it, which has been the danger zone, the marketing. Yeah. No matter how well you create digitally or creatively, you have to now go to Lagos or go somewhere else to exhibit or to market, which kills the vibe, which doesn't get it seen, which doesn't get it to bring enough productivity home. So now the knowledge, because the director of the NFC has been in this for long, he knows it. Some of us who have been there, we've been saying it for years. Our focus at the African Film Institute in the last 3 years has been the market. We created the common African film market because we understand you don't put money in the market, so you don't have progress. A good story. Yes, there's progress because right now, for the first time, we are paying it attention.
Yeah.
Before we're not paying it attention. We expected God in heaven or something to happen miraculously. Let's create good stuff. How do you sell it?
In the tech to experience that with, the young Minister of Communications.
Good.
That's Boston, right? Mm-hmm. The effect that you have seen is when you go to what we used to call Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Now they call it is it digital conference or so?
Okay.
Now it's populated by young people. Formerly, when you go there, you see professors. Now you see CEOs, tech CEOs, and all of that. I think it's
that connected with the times of what we're dealing with.
Exactly. In fact, I got visited by Manji, who works closely with the governor. Yeah, he was in Paris sometimes back to see me.
Great.
At Station F, and I think they understand, right? But, there's still resistance. But, I mean, I agree with you in terms of we are getting somewhere.
We're getting somewhere.
We are growing.
Attention is somewhere. Now there's the talk, and you see, talk is the beginning of actions. Most of the actions are preceded by, you start with talking. So now that we're talking and we're paying attention that, look, there needs to be a market. A market is what classifies an industry. Yeah. If you make something you can't sell, then there's no industry. So once we are able to make and sell, and now we say, okay, we have an industry for the creative.
I think we need to start summarizing.
And the digital space. Yeah, so it's solutions we're bringing now in the future. So for me, I feel like we need to be very conscious and intentional about creating an industry for both the creative and tech space, the creative and digital space, right? If somebody does an app, let's take Everyday Money, for instance, now. Yeah. You founded it in Jos, you created it there. Can it sell in Jos? Can it begin at its own nucleus?
Yeah, well, for the most part, I think a lot of people are on Everyday Money.
So that's what we're saying. This is practical now.
Yeah, when I made the statement, I somebody wanted to really, validate this. I said, go to the app and check the contact. You will find at least 5 people on your contact who are on the app.
Good. So that is what we're saying.
In no time, network effect is going to set in, and everybody in just
before now, it was very difficult. Many others which you have known, which fall as part of the statistics, started stuff.
It takes a lot of work.
They will have to run to Lagos or they will run somewhere else because they can't conquer their own Jerusalem. Now, what we're saying is this is going somewhere. In the digital space. The same thing in the film. Like I keep saying it. I won my first award. It was from Jos. I did the documentary I sold from Jos. Telling the Just story and sold, and then I did another one and another one. I did my first fiction film and my TV series from the same town.
What can we tell young people from Plateau State?
No, young people from Plateau State. See, we are testament that it can be done.
because I get a lot of DMs.
Yes.
And one thing remains.
I do that a lot.
Capital.
I cannot even count my mentors. One of the things I keep telling them, I say, look, I might tell you, you'll be angry with me because you say, sir, let me have the money like you first before I say money is not the first thing. To be sincere, I will say it again. It offends people, but money is not the first thing you need. Capital is not actually the first thing most of them need. If you put capital in the hand, they will fail. You can predict this.
Yeah.
So
we have the likes of GIZ that's been killing us with training back to back.
So we need the knowledge first and train. Yes. So that is needed first, which is good. But in some quarters, we have trained people. We have done stuff. So how many minutes?
Okay, great.
Bon. So the thing is, I feel is doable. We are testament. You are testament coming here. I'm testament. We're meeting in foreign land. We're doing this. It is doable. We need to keep going ahead. And good news is the landscape has changed. Not that it's changing.
Show and tell.
Capital would be there. But good news again, I don't know, it might be bad news for some people. You need to be prepared. When we say prepared, it's not by talking. You need to be. I have had opportunities to give people global jobs now. I find it difficult to rule the tribal lines and all of that. It's competence. You'll be shocked that there are no people to be employed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I tried.
So they should be ready.
I try. I get a lot of people asking me for, software engineers. And I cannot, to be honest, recommend.
So that is what we're saying now. Look, this time that you say capital is not coming, it's time that you are giving grace to prepare and be good.
Yeah.
If you're not good, nothing will happen. When the capital comes, it will skip you.
Yeah, so there's a guy that always reach out to me and I will tell you, see, right now, I cannot recommend. But there are times he reach out, then I recommend. Then he will call me back and tell me that was a good hire.
You see?
Yeah, because I cannot just...
Your reputation is at stake.
Exactly.
So that's something the young people need to know. It's not like we're wicked. It's not like we're selfish. It's not like we want to be the only guy succeeding, but we have risen at the expense and at the cost of some things we cannot go back on.
Yeah,
so when we recommend you, for me, I can tell you, people from Plateau have employed them. They are making millions in naira, thousands in dollars out there.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm proud of that. It makes me sleep better. I say, God, I have done my own part of it.
Yeah.
Not only have I trained people, I've mentored them, I have given them a life, I've paid school fees. Now I've employed people.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you can do. I think I have done my best from this place. So I'm telling the future that the future is bright. On our own part, we're here. We'll keep coming back home and coming here to make sure the bridge is built so that you can all connect. This place is accessible. Europe is accessible.
Then I also think that instead of building initiatives, there are numerous initiatives far back home.
Yeah.
And they are mostly to change narrative.
Yes.
And I keep telling them that, see, stop changing narrative, have a scalable and sustainable business model, right? And it will solve a lot of the problem that we have. And and then, skill up.
Don't be sitting doing nothing, please. For me, this is something I can't tell you. You can't say we are waiting. No, you are not waiting nothing. Any day you're giving, time is the most scarce commodity you can have on earth. If you have time, read something, do something, code something, write something, film something.
We have to sign out.
Don't sit down and be doing nothing. Yeah, if there's anything you can learn, don't sit down doing nothing.
Yeah,
so guys,
it's been nice having you around.
It's been an hour.
We haven't captured everything, but then it's fine.
Thank you, guys. So I hope I will get to do another episode of this, definitely. Maybe the next night to be in Berlin. We'll go in Berlin. Or we'll come back to Paris for part 2. Merci. Oui.